Oi, meus amores! Welcome back to my channel, and today I have a story time video for you. So let's get into the video. So for those who don't know me, my name is Joyce Alves Diaz and I'm 22 years old. And a few years ago, when I was 18 years old, I found out my kidneys were not working anymore. So as a 18-year-old, that's a really tough and hard thing for a doctor to tell you, because you're so young, you don't even know what kidney disease is, and for someone to just come and tell you, oh, you have to do dialysis as soon as possible because otherwise you can die. To hear that sentence can be really hard on you. So that's why today I'm here to tell you how it was for me, how I'm living now with a new kidney, how my life is, how the surgery was, who gave me the kidney, and I think it's going to be a bumpy ride because sometimes it can be really hard for me to tell the story, but I think at the same time everybody needs to hear this story, because sometimes as a young person or as a teenager or as a young adult, you think that diseases are only for old people and nothing can happen to you, that you don't really have to care about your health. But that's totally wrong. It's not like that, and I'm a living proof of that. So the story begins when I was really sick for like 2 weeks. First I thought maybe it was just a stomach bug, because I was throwing up, I couldn't eat anything, and it went to the point where I couldn't drink water, I couldn't eat, I was only sleeping, I had really bad cramps at my feet, and that was the point where I was really pale, and I was like, okay, so let's do a few tests because I don't think this is normal. So at that same day, it was on a Friday, I remember it, it was I think on a 6th of June of 2015, yes. I did a few blood tests. It was 8 a.m. or something. Around 12 p.m. the doctor called me and he's like, hey, I think you need to come, I think you need to come right now because I think your red blood is really low. I was like, okay, I will come. So he was like, oh, when you're on your period, do you bleed a lot? And he was like, I was like, yeah, sometimes, because he's like, yeah, because your iron is really low. So he gave me a few pills, but then he gave me a few pills and I went home. It was around 6 p.m. The doctor called me again at home, and he told me that I needed to go to the ER as soon as possible because the results weren't looking alright. So at first you tell me my iron is only low and maybe I have a stomach bug, but right now, a few hours later, I have to go to the ER. So as a teenager, you're like, oh my god, what is happening to me? Because I thought I had just a stomach bug, but that was not it. I was home alone and I needed to call my mom, and that's really hard for you to call your parents and say, oh, the doctor just called me and I need to go to the ER as soon as possible. My dad was at the gym and my mom was working, so we rushed to the ER, and a few hours later, after doing a few tests again at the ER, they told me my kidneys weren't working anymore and that I needed to stay at a hospital. That wasn't easy, but sometimes, I'm sorry, it's been 4 years, but sometimes it still hurts just thinking about that situation. So after the doctors told me that my kidneys weren't working anymore, oh, the worst part is that my parents couldn't talk Dutch at that time, and Curacao, the doctors were Dutch, so I had to translate for them that my kidneys weren't working anymore. For as a child, or yeah, at that time a teenager, to tell your parents that their child is between life and death, it's not easy, because it's your mom and dad, oh God, standing right there worrying about their child. And to tell them what was happening was really hard. But of course, I needed to be strong as well for them, because of course it was hard for me, but I knew it was harder for them, because I saw in their face how they were suffering because seeing their child sick and not knowing what was about to come. After the medics told me what I had to stay the night, and the next day was even harder, because that's when the treatment was going to start. So when your kidneys are not working anymore, you only have 3 options, which is doing dialysis, having a transplant, or yeah, you can just do anything and die. So because I was supposed to be in a coma, so I don't know, that's why I still thank God for the strength that He gave me at that time, that I didn't enter a coma. I had to do dialysis as soon as possible. So the next day, they put a catheter, I don't know if it's called like that, but it's a tube that has 2 tubes on the end and 2 tubes at the end, and that's where you do the dialysis. At that time, I didn't have the one here in my hand because that one is harder. So they put a catheter in here next to my throat, so that's why I have these on my throat, which are not beautiful, but they let me remember from what I came through. So after they did the catheter, I did the dialysis, which was dialysis is like a machine is cleaning your blood. So basically the machine is doing the job for you, for your kidneys, because your kidneys can't clean your blood anymore. So basically, if your kidneys are not working anymore, you're poisoning yourself without even knowing. I did dialysis for 1 year. It wasn't an easy year because I was in the senior class in high school. I was in my last year. I didn't make it, but I'm not hard on that, because I was going through a lot, so I didn't make it. But I had a lot of friends that helped me through that, and until today I'm really, really thankful for them. Through that 1 year, the people in the hospital were so helpful doing my dialysis. I had to do dialysis 3 times a week, and each day was about 3.5 hours sitting on a machine plugged in, cleaning my blood. During that year, I had to change my catheter, so I had to do another mini operation, which is getting the old catheter out and putting a new one in. It wasn't an easy thing to do. And through that 1 year, my mom and dad were deciding which one of them was going to give me one of their kidneys. My dad was ready to give me one of his kidneys, but because he has high blood pressure, he couldn't do the operation. So my mom was approved to give me my kidney. So during 1 year, she went through a lot of tests to make sure that her kidney was the right one for me. And I'm so thankful for her, because she was so brave and did that for me. I remember clearly, it was on I think 1st of June 2016. The doctors called me and say, you and your mother are ready to go to the Netherlands and do your transplant. I can't really express or tell you how I felt. Of course, I was happy because one chapter of this disease was ending. The chapter of going through dialysis 3 times a week. But a new chapter was starting. One which was having a kidney of my mom. Having the feeling of she gave life to me again. It's not easy. So it was on the 5th of June of 2016. We got on a plane and started our journey to the Netherlands to do the transplant. We got here in the Netherlands on the 6th of June. So that was exact 1 year since I started, or since I got to know that I had this disease. So it was 1 year, precisely 1 year. When we got here, we went directly to the hospital. It wasn't that easy because I had to do dialysis, and the day before getting on the plane, I had to do dialysis. So they made sure that my blood was okay to do the flight, because it was a 9-hour flight. It wasn't that easy. So when we got here, we went directly to the hospital to check in. We had to see when I had to do dialysis again, because of course the surgery wasn't right after we got here. I did the surgery on the 15th of June of 2016. So this year it will be 3 years after my surgery. So I had to do dialysis here as well, because of course I couldn't stop just because I was going to do the surgery. I couldn't stop doing dialysis, so I had to do dialysis until the day before the surgery. Before the day of the surgery was difficult. my mom needed to be first, so she went in the operation room first. They did the surgery on her, so they removed one of her kidneys, and then I went to do the surgery. After the surgery, it wasn't easy because I didn't know how my mom was, and just knowing that she was on a table of operation just for me, just to save me again, or to save me, was hard. But I'm so thankful for her. After I woke up, I heard the medics were around me, and they were telling they were talking to each other. I was just coming back from the anesthesia, I think. And they were talking to each other, telling how the surgery was, and I was listening how they were so happy about the surgery because it went so well. The kidney reacted as soon as it was connected to me, so that's a really good response. My mom was feeling really good. I think after 4 days in the hospital, she was ready to go home. After the surgery, my mom didn't need to take any medicine because a person can live with only one kidney. But of course, the only things that she needs to be careful is what type of medicine she drinks. But other than that, she doesn't need to drink medicine. She can live normally. That's it. But after the surgery, I had 2 catheters down there, so I couldn't get off the bed. So I had 2 down there, which was really painful. I also had 2 infuses, 1 in each hand. I stayed at the hospital for 9 days for recovery. They told me it was really an easy, it was a fast recovery because usually you can stay up to 2 weeks in the hospital. But I had such a good recovery that I stayed 9 days in the hospital. I had to learn to pee again, which may sound really crazy, but when I was doing the dialysis, I didn't pee that much. So having to pee a lot was like learning to pee again, which was really funny and amazing at the same time. At the hospital, it wasn't easy because I was in there every morning. They had to draw blood out of my hand, so my hands were really sore because every day they draw blood out of me. After my surgery, I was really happy because one chapter of my life was done. I knew I didn't have to do dialysis 3 times a week. I didn't have to be plugged on a machine 3.5 hours. So a new chapter was beginning. In this chapter, I needed to learn myself to drink medicine every day, and until now I still drink approximately 10 capsules a day. I have to drink them on time, so I had to learn myself to put an alarm on my phone to 8 a.m. you have, even if I was sleeping until late, I need to wake up 8 a.m. to drink the medicine. I had to do that. I still do that because of course I need them to live. I needed to accept that I can do everything. I needed to accept. I just had to get used to myself again, because when I was doing the dialysis, I couldn't drink water. I only could drink 1.5 liters of water maximum, but that was included fruits, water of fruits included, or if I drink a soup, that water was included, so I couldn't drink that much water. I had to educate myself again to drink a lot of water instead of drinking a minimum of water. I had to educate myself to eat healthier, but of course that with time, because I needed to change myself of living as a teenager but having a mind of an adult and being like, you have to eat healthy, you have to move, you have to be responsible for yourself, because otherwise the kidney that your mom gave you, it's going to be for nothing. So this year is going to be 3 years after my surgery. I'm so thankful for God in the first place, because if it wasn't for Him, I don't know how it would be. So I'm really thankful for my mom as well, because she was so brave. She didn't doubt even one time about this surgery. She was ready to give me that kidney, and that's why I'm so thankful for her. Now that I'm living here at the Netherlands without my parents, of course it hurts sometimes, because it feels like maybe I shouldn't let them there, because my mom did so much for me, and why am I here right now? But I have to look for my future, so that's why I'm here. But I just needed to get used to it. I live a normal life. I just have to look for myself what I eat and what I drink. My medicines, they have a big impact on my life, because, for example, I can't mix them with whatever medicine that I have. I need to make sure, oh, can I drink this? Can I drink that? Because otherwise it can result in a rejection. And sometimes it feels like my body is like fighting with myself, because if I don't drink the medicine, my body was just like, oh, I don't want this kidney anymore. And sometimes that can be hard. But other than that, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for my mom. And that's why last Mother's Day was last week. And I'm like, I have to make a video telling my story, telling how brave my mom was that she gave me life again. So, yeah. My mom gave me a kidney. And right now I'm happy with myself. I'm currently studying at Holland in the Netherlands. I am healthy. Of course, I have 3 kidneys, because they didn't take my 2 kidneys out. I have my mom's kidney and I have the 2 original kidneys. And I just wanted to make this video actually to make awareness that kidney disease is not something for only adults. It's also something that happens with young children. And until today, they don't really know why my kidneys failed with such a young age, with 18 years old. But because high blood pressure runs in my family, and at a young age of 12 years old, my blood pressure was already high. So maybe that's one of the reasons why why my kidneys failed at such a young age. And other than that, yeah, I don't know why it was. So that was my video for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, that you got to know me just a little bit better than you thought you knew me, and now that you know a little bit more about me, I don't know. I would say share this video or show it to someone that sometimes need encouragement, because you know, something that I really tell everybody, that when I was going through dialysis, or when I got to know that my kidneys weren't working anymore, I didn't question God, why is this happening to me, or why are my kidneys not working anymore? You know, I didn't question God in no time, because you know, God has his plans for everybody. God knows what plan he has for me, and I believe in that. I hope I put a smile on your face today. I know this wasn't a really funny video, but I think it's an inspiring video. So share it with someone that's going through something really bad, because you know, at that time when you're going through something, you don't really think about, oh, at the end everything is going to be okay, or if you're watching this, everything is going to be okay. Subscribe to my channel. You can see my journey, how what the things that I'm doing right now. You know, I'm a normal young adult. I go out with my friends, I have fun, I cook, I do this and that, and that's why I wanted to do this, you know, this channel, so people can see that I'm having fun, I'm living the life that everybody deserves, you know. And of course, as a student myself, I have my ups and downs. It's not easy living a part of your parents or your family, because for me, family is something really important. So living far away from our family, it's a constant conflict that I have with myself. But you know, at the end, it's something that I know is going to be worth it. So that's why I put my hard work in it to be successful. Give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to continue and see my journey. If you haven't watched any of my videos and you're new here, go watch them and see what I actually do sometimes with my life. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in maybe a next video or vlog. So bye!